Alright, Mr. Kroom. You believe that you have superpowers, specifically laser vision. Why do you believe this?
I don't believe. I know I have something unique about me, okay?
Is that why you wear the glasses?
Yes, look, I don't know the exact reason why, but when I wear these glasses, it stops the lasers from shooting out. Now, I'm not crazy. Can I just leave now?
You know, it could just be a manifestation of conscious self-doubt. It says here in your file that as a child you were beaten by classmates because you were too scared of heights to slide down a pole.
What the hell are you talking about? Like, I barely even remember that.
Well, a lot of people tend to delve into fantasies and construct illusions in order to escape from reality and trauma. Your belief that you can shoot lasers from your eyes is a Class A example of this. A similar case would be a man called Grinsan.
How do you reach that? Look, can I just leave? Okay, there's something wrong with my eyes and they're shooting lasers.
Then take off your glasses.
Well, what?
If you're so certain that the lasers will shoot from your eyes, then by all means take them off. Why do you hesitate?
Stuff it.
Enemy down.
The year was 1999. A young filmmaker named M. Night Shyamalan released his third film, The Sixth Sense, which received critical acclaim and love and adoration from audiences for its incredible twist and clever storytelling. Then, a year later, he followed it up with his fourth film, Unbreakable, which released to a less than stellar box office performance and polarizing reception from audiences, but has since gone on to receive cult status and recognition for its clever exploration of the theme of destiny. Then after that he produced nothing but crap until a few years ago when he made The Visit and managed to get his groove back. And now we finally got the third and final film in the trilogy that Unbreakable was supposed to start, Glass. And I can safely say this. This movie continues the trend of Shyamalan's renaissance. Now, the story of Glass, to really get what's going on, you don't need to see the prior films in the trilogy, but it does help. So you get some familiarity with the three main characters, Mr. Glass, Dunn, and of course the Horde, or as he's also known as, Kevin Wendell Crumb. Now, the story itself is actually a bit of a play on movies like The Avengers, of heroes coming together to fight a common threat. But in this case, it's these three characters coming together and fighting each other with something much bigger in the background. Now, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but I will say this. It's a pretty solid, albeit kinda out of nowhere twist, but it's forgivable just for the fact that it builds on what is an intriguing universe that these three movies occupy, which is a universe where superheroes are grounded firmly in the reality of the real world, where all the various powers they could possibly have in comics are showcased how they could really function in our world, and that is awesome. You got to give props to Shyamalan for actually exploring the concept of superpowers and superheroes in such a nuanced way, but it does carry one big issue. The movie does have action in it in the second half, but it is very no thrills. Like, that's not to say the fight scenes are bad, far from it, but compared to something like, say, Spider-Man Homecoming, or even those direct-to-DVD Punisher films, we're not exactly getting John Wick caliber action when it's on screen. It also doesn't help that the first half of the movie really is just painfully dull, I'm not gonna lie there. And this is something that's only compounded by Shyamalan's directing and writing style, which tends to be slow-paced and very joyless. Like, don't be surprised if you start to nod off in the first half of the movie. But there are some decent scenes here and there that do pepper out some interesting ideas. But the second half, whoa man, that's when it gets into 10th gear, where Shyamalan just piles on the suspense and the intrigue. That's where the real meat of this movie is located. But even during the more slow pace scenes, there are still some things to keep you engaged, and those are Mr. Glass and the Horde. Like, Samuel L. Jackson does a great performance as Mr. Glass. Granted, like, for the majority of the film, he's just silent and sitting still, twitching in a wheelchair, but even then he still manages to give a great performance. And the guy who plays Kevin / the Horde, he's great too, and how he manages to pull off these 24 different personalities as well. Oh man, it's just hilarious. Like, that's just one aspect of Shyamalan's directing style that you do have to give props for. The guy can inject, albeit unintentional, comedy that actually does add some levity to when things do get pretty damn too dull. But that does lead me to the final thing I have to say about this movie. Shyamalan's directing style, it's not for everyone. Like I said before, the movie is slow-paced in the first half, and it does continue the joyless tone that's characteristic of his writing, but there's also all these awkward shots throughout the film, as well as a huge overabundance of people staring directly into the camera. I know this is a common trope in his films alongside him appearing in cameos in every one of his films, but when you've seen as many of his films as I have, and you see people constantly staring directly into the camera, it kind of gets very annoying, especially here when it's actually double, triple, or even quadruple the amount he used in his prior films. Suffice to say this, Glass is one of the furthest things from a perfect movie. This is a film that really should have come out when it needed to, just a couple years after Unbreakable, but sadly it just didn't come out at the right time. But does that mean it can't make it for Lost Time? No! There is plenty to love here, as well as plenty to be criticised. And if anything, I'll say this, I actually came away from this movie wanting more. I want to see more of the universe it and the two prior films, Unbreakable and Split, occupy, and I honest to God do hope Shyamalan does get to make more films in this universe, because really, you're just left asking, whoa, what is going to happen next? And if that's not the sign of a good movie, I don't know what is.
Alright, thanks for checking out the video, I really do appreciate it, and if you feel like being an extra special person, then please hit the subscribe button. And for the next movie review, I'm hoping to do one on Alita Battle Angel. That movie has just caught my attention, and I really want to see it for my birthday. And for game reviews, I'm going to be doing a review on the Resident Evil 2 remake, and I'm still planning to do a first impressions on Apex Legends. I've got all that and more coming up, so like usual, stick around.